Hello and welcome to The Travel Show, coming this week from the historic city of Canterbury in southern England. I'm here to take a look back at some of the great stories we've clocked up already in 2017. And so far, it's been a great year.
It's actually quite difficult to walk through here. It's so busy.
I only learned to ski the first time 2 weeks ago.
It's definitely not recommended if you're a little bit claustrophobic.
Wow.
If you touch the book with both hands, you're going to be in love and married inside of 6 months.
Now, one of the things we really pride ourselves on here at The Travel Show is taking you off the beaten path to find destinations you may not find in your average guidebook. Let's kick off the program with some fantastic recent stories that certainly tick that box.
In a moment, we look back at a truly astonishing sight that Rajan caught a glimpse of in Myanmar back in January. And then we check out some long-abandoned military tunnels in Russia that Carmen went to explore.
Oh God, something dropped on my head.
But first, we sent Henry off to Turkey to see an archaeological dig that's revealing some fascinating insights about that country's past.
In the heart of Nevşehir, among the modern houses and office buildings, workers made a startling find as they cleared a hillside for redevelopment. The largest underground city of its kind. Excavations have revealed these openings dug into the side of the hill. Experts estimate the caves could extend over 450,000 square meters.
Wow. Look at all of this. I find it quite hard to believe that there were people living on top of here and all of this was actually hidden. And so they had no idea that this was here.
No.
That is insane. Wow, that ceiling is rather unique, isn't it? What's all this?
This is a monastery, and according to the scientists, the monastery dates back to the 6th century AD.
You can definitely see that outline, that cross there.
And this region was very important for the early Christians. Turkey is a single country on Earth which has got the function of a bridge which is connecting two continents together. Asia to Europe, Europe to Asia. Nearly 30 different civilizations that pass through this country. Those are the civilizations which leave some remains.
There are plans to turn sections of the cave network into an archaeological park with art galleries and boutique hotels. Authorities hope to open it to the public in 2018, when visitors can see the excavations in their full glory.
Look at this. Wow.
These caves are home to 9,000 Buddha statues, some dating back hundreds of years. They're all brought and donated by devotees, hoping for a blessing.
It's just Buddhas galore. And they're made of what? What material underneath the gold?
It's like a mortar, concrete.
Concrete, I think, right? So by making a Buddha image, what do the people hope that happens in terms of Buddhism? Is it to give them a better life after life?
So this is like a good deeds.
Yeah, like merit making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe so for the next existence, so to get a better place, because they believe that they want levels beings. They want to be like an upper, and then to nirvana in one day.
In one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vladivostok in Russia's Far East is home to over 500,000 people. and it's no stranger to traffic jams, partly because there's no subway system here.
But what do lie beneath Vladivostok's hills are the remnants of what used to be one of the most powerful maritime fortresses in the world. Abandoned for decades, some areas are now open to tourists.
Number one fortification.
This is Vladimir Kalinin. He's an author whose interest in Vladivostok's military past was sparked as a young boy growing up in this area.
1901, as you can see.
Is this where you used to come as a child?
Yeah.
Today, Vladimir and I are exploring his childhood stomping ground, also known as Stronghold Number 1.
So those holes there would be where the guns...
Yeah, the holes for quick-firing guns.
At the turn of the 20th century, Tsarist Russia went to war with Japan over who controlled Korea and Manchuria to the south and the waters surrounding them. Vladivostok was home to the Imperial Russian fleet, and that made it a potential target.
Vladimir, why was Vladivostok such an important military point?
Vladivostok was the only gate of Russia in the Pacific region, and it was the only good port on the Russian Pacific shore connected with Siberia and other Russia by Trans-Siberian Railway.
Wow, I didn't expect the ceilings to be so high.
Yeah, it was proposed for shelter of peoples, and that's why the tunnel have a lot of space.
Although many of the military structures in Vladivostok are still derelict, it's great to see more people getting interested in them. These structures, that once aimed to make Vladivostok impregnable, deserve to be preserved.
Carmen going underground in Russia back in January.
Now, where do you think is the best place in the world to meet a potential love match? Well, if you're Irish, it could be a little place on the west coast. The Lisdoonvarna Matchmaking Festival is Europe's largest singles event, attracting up to 60,000 people each year. It's been a local tradition for over 160 years. The festival was originally designed to help find wives for lonely farmers at the end of the harvest season. For the past half-century, Willie Daly has been the town's matchmaker-in-chief, using skills passed down from his father and grandfather. The process is this.
Would you like to have children if all goes well?
I think so, eventually, yeah.
Time.
Punters fill out their details and tell Willie about themselves and what they'd like in a partner.
I have you down there now as good looking and nice.
Oh, good.
Then, once the €20 fee is paid, Willie will attempt to find them a match.
Joe's a little farmer, he's his own farm near the sea.
Okay. I had my doubts. I might still have doubts, but I thought I would give it a whirl. Why not?
Not everyone attending the festival is single. Many couples who met here in years past return to celebrate and dance the night and day away. But most of the folk here are looking for love.
We want to find the one. We want to find the one. Hello. So far, we haven't found it. But you know what? There's such a good buzz around. There's a great atmosphere. The matchmaking community, it's brilliant. So we would like to find someone, a bit of land, a nice personality, not bad looking. Yeah, not bad. We're not fussy, but you have to find the right match. It's not bad.
Hey! I think we can gather there's no shortage of options for the ladies here.
Nobody. Is there anybody out there?
Yes. Tommy and Sean. Tommy and Sean.
Now, if I were to ask you, what's the most famous thing about Italy? Chances are you would say it's food.
And most of their best pasta dishes contain meat of some sort. But not if the new mayor of Turin has her way, as Rajan found out recently.
Food is not just a matter of eating, it's a matter of having knowledge on what you eat, how you eat it, where you eat it, and also about the story of what you're eating. So it's a matter of health, it's a matter of respecting the environment. So when we talk about vegetarianism, we're talking about what it means to have a food policy and what it means to having knowledge of what you're eating.
Are you a vegetarian?
No, I'm not.
Among the proposals are a vegetarian map for tourists, 1 meat-free day a week, and teaching children about animal welfare and ecology. As a non-meat eater myself, I'm curious as to how realistic the proposals are. According to the Mayor's office, there are already at least 30 vegan and vegetarian restaurants like this one in Turin, but she wants many more.
We want to propose something new, something different, and then we study a lot about different kind of ingredients or technique. A lot of dishes inside the Italian culture are vegan, but people don't know. People eat spaghetti and tomatoes and think about spaghetti and tomatoes, but it's vegan place. You know what I mean?
So it's natural in Italian food.
Yeah, it's really easy. This soup is a cream made with potatoes, Jerusalem artichoke.
Luca got into veganism, he told me, through the punk scene when he was young.
This is vegan parmesan.
And he feels Turin is ahead of the game on eating trends.
Then we have to cut the truffle. Oops. It's not easy, I know.
It's not easy.
One of the most famous and the first vegan festival in Italy was in Turin. Like the first gay pride was in Turin. I think it's like a really European and open-minded city.
Sumptuous, really, really good.
Rajan there in Turin, and it will be interesting to see how the Mayor's plan turns out. Well, don't go away because there's plenty more to come here on The Travel Show.
Addie takes to the decks in London.
I'm mixing!
And Carmen busts some moves in Peru, which could give any breakdancer a spin for their money.
But first, what's claimed to be the largest floating village in the world. We sent Henry to Brunei to check it out.
Along the Brunei River lies Kampong Ayer. It's made up of 4,000 stilted buildings and over 18 miles of walkways.
Now to get over to the floating village over there, you have to take these water taxis, which only cost $1 Brunei dollar. But it's very choppy, this little body of water. It's a channel almost, so there's a lot of wind, a lot of these white caps, as you can see.
The older section of the village still features plenty of wooden buildings and walkways. It's not as pristine as the modern section, but it has its own charm.
Wow, what a beautiful boat. So you made this? Ooh, so big, besar.
Pasal botan ni untuk pelancong. Salah rangka, pasang atas lagi, kursi, tempat duduk, tong, bawa atas atap lagi.
How many generations have your family been in the industry?
Daripada bapa, nenek, datuk, seterusnya lah. Saya yang ke-6, generasi ke-6.
Just like that. Fits perfect, doesn't it?
Okay.
So this stunning entrance is the opening to the Al-Huta caves. It's 2 to 3 million years old. Once inside, you can explore the caves by using the specially constructed walkways and take your journey back in time. I'm starting to work up a bit of a sweat here. Despite Oman being arid most of the year, the country is pockmarked with riverbeds which can flood very quickly when it rains. and flash flooding back in 2014 sent water gushing into the caves, submerging most of them and closing the complex down to tourists. Just over 2 years on, and the water has been pumped out, returning the caves to their former glory. I could stare at these rocks for ages. Well, like that looks like a lion's head. I swear it looks like a lion's head. You can see its mane. There's a bit of its mouth over there. It's bizarre. As you venture deeper and deeper into the caves, the walkways get longer and the stairs get steeper. Look at that. But after coming all this way, I'm determined to see as much as I can. Yeah, this is like being back at my mum and dad's old council flat. You've got to be pretty able to get around this cave. There it is. Sadly though, it doesn't look like I'm really cut out to be a caveman. It's like a proper training workout. Oh wow, look over there. It's just stairs, flights and flights of stairs. I think my cave dwelling is over now. This is enough for me.
Now, to finish off our look back at some of the recent best bits of the travel show, here's a selection of stories that seem to be the producer's favourite. Those are the ones where presenters get pushed way out of their comfort zone and have to try something new. Well, I didn't have to travel far from here in Canterbury to try a spot of champing recently. All will be revealed in a moment. And neither did Addy when he tried his hand playing his set in one of London's most famous nightclubs. And we sent Carmen all the way to Peru and wanted her to try her hand at scissor dancing. I'm here for a spot of champing, church camping. It's available at 12 historic venues around the country. Beautiful ancient sites that are rarely, if ever, used as places of mass worship anymore. It's a very big hotel room. Money raised from letting champers like me stay means the crumbling buildings are spared a slow, inevitable decline. Somebody at the pub just told me that tonight is supposed to be the coldest night of the year. So that's good, as I head into my unheated church room for the night. I've got my airbed, sleeping bag. So I've just got into bed and it's quite comfy actually. Quite cosy given how cold it is, and I can see my breath. I'm going to try to go to sleep now and try and forget that I'm entirely surrounded by graves. It is quite cold, it's quite noticeably quite cold. I think there's a jolly good reason that champing is usually only done during the summer. Deciding to come champing in the dead of winter was a really terrible idea.
You've got your volume controls here. You've got your highs, mid and lows. So your bass knob, this is the big bass knob. Give it a little bit of sibilance, strip that out, bring that down. With the technology today, it gives you much more flexibility to take risks and do things that you couldn't do in the old days with vinyl.
So could you put like a classic opera track with some hip-hop?
Yes, Beethoven wrote most of his music in 120 BPM, so he was one of the first house DJs.
Oh, Beethoven knew what he was talking about.
Did, so
he dropped beats.
He did, and a lot of his stuff was dance music speed.
All right, let's do this then.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 2, 3, 4.
3, 2, 9.
4, 2, 3, 4.
Bingo.
I'm mixing! Now time to see if all that training has worked. It's the moment of truth. I tell you what I will say is it's very loud in here. Now fortunately it's still early, so the pressure's off a little bit and I'm getting the hang of things. By the end of the night, I've got the house rocking.
The origin of the Peruvian scissor dance is shrouded in mystery. But many believe the tradition began up in the highlands of the Andes as an act of worship to the mountain gods. Now, its importance in Peru's history has been recognised by UNESCO. And its back-breaking moves would put many breakdancers to shame. First, I've got to get to grips with the scissors. The aim is to hit the handles together in time to the music. The blunt blades aren't connected, so holding them in position is really tricky.
There is no way I'm going to be able to do this and coordinate my feet.
And it's not just mastering the scissors.
This is the one that makes your knees bleed.
Learning the dance moves takes some serious commitment. After a few minutes, I'm exhausted. I can't even imagine how hard it would be to do these moves up in the Andes, where the thin air makes everything so much harder. These guys are true athletes.
Oh, that was hard work. Carmen there, trying a spot of scissor dancing. And as they say, folks, don't try that one at home. Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's show. Coming up next week.
Henry's hitting the canals of Bangkok to find out what's being done to clean up the city's waterways.
Insane, so much polystyrene, there's old teddy bears, mattresses. Have a look at that.
So do join us then if you can, and in the meantime don't forget you can keep up with us while we're out on the road in real time by signing up to our social media feeds. But for now, from me, Crystal Larwood, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Canterbury, it's goodbye.